So a lot of you have been aware of the riots, the so-called peaceful protests is what the right-wingers would say, in Southport and Sunderland. And it's very obvious. I mean, the right-wing media wants you to believe that this is the voice, the riots of the unheard. But these people don't represent your average, everyday Briton. I mean, this is led at a cultural and even a spiritual and political level by someone like Tommy Robinson. This is a man who's gone to prison not once, not twice, but 5 times, has had numerous dozens of convictions. How many people do you know have that record? This is a criminal. And just because he may have a way with words, it doesn't necessarily mean that he's actually telling you the truth. We know, following the riots in Southport, that it was a lie that was spread and is easily regurgitated and easily absorbed by the right-wing followers of EDL, and Nigel Farage and Lee Anderson, Lawrence Fox, these people who want to rid Islam. Now, I'm not Muslim myself, but I know that the moment you justify attacking the entire community and addressing them as a whole instead of as individuals is the moment that you are making the racist attack. It is racism, plain and simple. It's not a theological disagreement. If you have a theological disagreement, you have a debate about it. And you also assess whether individuals of that faith would believe in what you're purporting them to believe. There are many Muslims that I know that don't actually believe in all of the allegations made. And when you consider things like those Rochdale grooming gangs, you have to understand, you have to look at things logically. You have to understand, actually, when you look at the statistics, the largest perpetrator of child SA grapes are white people, and it's not even proportional to the population of white people. It's actually higher than the proportion of white people. According to a report in 2020, 89% of all child SA was committed by white people, even though white people are only part of 80% of the population. So when you put that into the bigger picture, then you realize this is a propaganda campaign put forward by right-wing agitators, the like of which include Tommy Robinson, this man who is a significant proponent of and also, one of the founders of the EDL. This is a man who has within his own ranks people been convicted for child SA, grooming and grape themselves. This is not, you can't compare someone like EDL to someone like the Labour Party. I hate Labour Party, but the Labour Party within its rank doesn't include, groomers, essayists, grapists. Obviously, you won't find that in Green either, but it just goes to show you can't compare the EDL with the average everyday Brit, average everyday normie. The average everyday Brit does not have a long list of convictions to their name. The average everyday Brit believes in keep calm and carry on. The average everyday Brit believes in judging people by their character rather than judging them by where they come from. And this is what we need to understand, that the EDL, these thugs on the streets, they may be loud, they may be proud, but they do not represent your average everyday Brit. I mean, it should be common sense, but we need to understand that the largest proportion of people are politically vague, but they have a conception of human rights. They believe in just judging people as you'd like to be judged, but they're not particularly loud. They're not particularly out and about. So it appears this is easy meat for the right-wing media, easy meat for even centrists who want to portray this as the voice of the unheard. This is a voice of a very particular proportion, a fraction of the of the population that has been ignored. That's without a doubt. You know, we've seen the largest transfer of wealth from the working class to the super rich, and the super rich want you to believe it's the other people who are responsible, the immigrants, and if you, the idea that Muslims are the cause of all problems, well, it'll be news to you that before Muslims entered into the West, to the degree that they've, entered, been a part of the population, well, there were other scapegoats before. For the right wing, they need a scapegoat. They need a donkey, a target onto which they can pinpoint and, pin that donkey and blame them for the societal ills, for their own failures, actually. Because, yes, we can address material conditions. The way you address them is by doing something productive like unionizing. And it's quite interesting that these people in the right-wing media portray those writers as working class, and yet they themselves are not proponents of the unions that support the working class the most. The unions, which include, organizations like Unite, RMT, these aren't in an allegiance with Nigel Farage, Lawrence Fox, or Tommy Robinson. They're a completely different kettle